Okay, today, guys, 30th of July. We're almost at D-Day, 1st of August. So, we're about 48 hours or so away, maybe a little bit longer. I don't know the exact time, somewhere around there. I'm already set up to do whatever I need to do, so I'm just doing this last session for you guys to make sure that everyone's up to date with everything that's happening, and just some future prospectus on what I believe is going to happen from this split, and also over the next couple of weeks how I believe the market is going to react to the changes. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of a point of view, I don't have any spare Bitcoin right now. It's all invested in altcoins. I don't have any Bitcoin on Beatrix exchange to take advantage of the free BCC. I've gone the other route and I've actually invested all of my remaining Bitcoin into altcoins. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of go over my reasoning for that, and it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to pay off. I could actually lose money out of this, as opposed to getting the free BCC, taking the safest or easiest route, I guess, getting the free BCC and offloading it, and then moving my money back to Poloniex and getting ready to buy alts. Or I could make a crap load more than what I would if I did the BCC. So I'll go over my two reasoning options for that. Now, moving forward, as of right now, if you do have spare Bitcoin and you're not sure if your exchange or wallet or whatever is giving you the BCC, I suggest the easiest and best thing to do will be able to move it to Beatrix exchange. So that is Bittrex.com. Okay, so Beatrix exchange, because they have said that they are going to support the BCC chain split. What that means is if you've got Bitcoin in there as of the cutover time when that's going to fork, you will get the equivalent amount of BCC as to whatever Bitcoin you've got in there. Now, I don't know if it's only whole Bitcoin, like if you have to have a whole, say, one Bitcoin in there to get one BCC, or if it's fractional as well. So, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. But they haven't necessarily said whether it's fractional or not. And what I mean by fractional, obviously, is if you've got, say, 0.1 of a Bitcoin, I don't know if you get 0.1 of a BCC. Okay? So, if you're going to move it there, try and move whole round numbers so you don't miss out, basically. If you don't have whole round numbers, move it in there and give it a crack. That's the easiest and simplest thing to do. Now, I believe what is going to happen is every person or everything that I've kind of seen lately has every person or everything that I've seen lately is basically everyone I've seen posting about it is basically taking advantage of the free BCC, and they're going to offload and sell it and move their Bitcoin back to whatever other exchange they were using and buy altcoins again. That's from what I've been keeping up with over the last couple of weeks. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. So you got a few possibilities. Okay, you move your money to move your Bitcoin to Bittrex, get your free BCC, offload the BCC as fast as you possibly can. They haven't announced whether the actual BCC will be tradable as of the fork cutover. But what you want to do is find out the exact time zone where you are, where it's going to be, the split's going to be occurring, okay? And try and schedule so you can be on the computer at that time. Now, the reason I say this is because kind of like when a new altcoin joins an exchange or a new ICO project comes out or something and it hits an exchange, it gets dumped really hard, really fast, okay? So the reason I say you want to try and be on your PC or whatever at the time, if you want to sell your BCC, if you want to hold your BCC, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about what I'm talking about now. But if you want to sell it, you have to try and sell it as soon as humanly possible. Now, the reason for that is the price is going to tank and you want to get the best possible value, okay? So that's probably the easiest and safest alternative at the moment. And that's anyone can kind of do that. There's nothing really risky about doing that because a lot of people are doing that. And the reason we can tell a lot of people are doing that is purely because of Bitcoin price, okay? So over the last 2 weeks, okay, when we found out about the whole, when we found out about the whole SegWit thing happening, a couple of weeks ago, price was tanking. It spiked right down low. We hit, what did we hit? About 1830-ish or something. And then as soon as everyone knew what was happening in the market, Bitcoin price, bang, straight back up almost to a previous all-time high. Now what that means is a lot of people obviously didn't know what was going to happen. So that's what caused the market panic for the market to move down. As soon as people knew what was happening, everyone jumps back on the bandwagon. They get back in again, okay? I knew that Bitcoin price was going to go back up again. I said that I'm pretty sure I said that in my last videos. I gave you the two alternatives of Bitcoin price if it was to continue downwards, where we would possibly see an approach, but there was a bullish side as well. There's always a bullish or a bearish side. So one of them's going to happen. So the bullish side happened. So what we do with that is we now draw our Fibonacci level from the low of the Bitcoin, okay, which we previously had, to the high, okay. Now that gives us our new fib level to keep track of at the moment. Now as you can see, okay, we've come down and we've touched, there's a little zone here between 2400 and 2420. You can see there's 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. We've got multiple touches along here. So this is a good support and resistance level, okay guys. Acted as resistance here, acted as support here, came down, false breakout here, came down, acted as support here. Okay, we broke through it, and now we've acted as resistance on this part before we headed down further. So this level here, for us to spike massively through that level, means there's a massive amount of bullish pressure in the market, which, cryptocurrencies, more money coming into the market. We're expecting a long-term bullish run. We're always going to have pullbacks in the market, but we're still expecting long-term bullishness across Bitcoin. Okay, so what I've then done is when we've hit this new low here, I've drawn a new trend line. Okay, from here up through here, touching these wicks, and now that gives us where price is right now. So this is our accelerating new trend line for our short-term market. This previous one back here was our other accelerated weekly trend line. Okay, that was this one here from this low where the market shot up massively from 900ish up to 3k. So this is our longer term trend line. All right, now at the moment we're intersecting a long-term trend line, a short-term trend line. We've come down, we've bounced off the 38.2 Fibonacci level, which is a good bullish signal. Okay, if you're bouncing off only this level here, we didn't quite get down to the 50, but we did bounce straight off our 2400 to 2420 zone. Okay, that I've got mapped out here, and price has gone back up again. So that indicates to me there's still a lot of bullish pressure in the market. Now, the reason there's a lot of bullish pressure in the market and the reason why altcoins have still been dropping in value over the last couple of weeks, okay, is purely based upon the fact that people are they're selling off some of their altcoins to get Bitcoin, to then move the Bitcoin to an exchange that supports a BCC. They're going to get the BCC, and then they're going to do whatever they want to do with the BCC. Okay, so this is why we haven't seen a massive dip in Bitcoin again after the bullish run of what people knew what happening with SegWit. So this is the SegWit bullish run, and then 2 days later, okay, after all this crap happened, 2 days later we've got our short-term bearish run again, because everyone goes, well, we were expecting something to happen on August 1st, but something happened before that with another soft fork with the SegWit stuff, so we knew what was happening, and then bang, there's uncertainty in the market again. So again, that causes panic sell-off, but because people know what is actually going to happen this time, whereas we had about 3 or 4 different options that was possibly about to happen before the whole SegWit thing. Okay, people know what's going to happen this time. We're going to have a chain split from a certain few mining people who are going to support a chain split, create a new coin, create a new altcoin, and go that route. Okay, so we know that's going to happen, and that's why we don't have as much of a bearish pressure in the market. There's not as much panic because a lot of people are just holding their Bitcoin. Okay, and then Bitcoin price has shot up again because people selling off their altcoins to get Bitcoin, to get free BCC. Okay, to get free altcoins. All right. Now, what I'm expecting to happen, okay, what I'm expecting to happen now is I believe after this fork run, okay, I believe we're going to go back into a bullish Bitcoin market, and over the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to hit, probably over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I reckon we're going to hit a new all-time high, and this is where my all-time high targets are, okay. So my first new all-time high target is at anywhere between 3,200 and 3,550, and the second one is between 3,600 and 4,300 US dollars for Bitcoin. Okay, now the reason I've come up with these numbers are because in I haven't necessarily back tested this thoroughly on cryptocurrency, but this is a big thing in foreign exchange market. Okay, Fibonacci extension zones. Okay, so generally what will happen in, say, a Forex market is if you get a retrace of, anywhere between, say, like a 38.2 and a 50% fib level, you'll normally get a Fibonacci extension up to this point. Okay, from a 38.2 level or at 23.6, you'll normally get an extension up to about this point here, this minus 61.8. So these two targets have come from, okay, these two minus 27s have come from the long-term Fibonacci level, which we've got from, down here from our 900 to 3K, and then the next one, so you'll see there's two minus 27s here. The next one has come from our recent short-term Fibonacci levels. Okay, so that's my prediction based upon Bitcoin. If we approach a new all-time high, these are the targets that I'm going to be looking at. And again, these are the targets that I'm going to be selling Bitcoin into fiat currency to last me, for the next couple of months or whatever that I need to get by with bills, living, all that sort of stuff. So these are my next targets. And selling off anywhere between this zone and this zone will be my next targets when we hit those targets. Okay. Now, that's going to all tie in with my overall market strategy, which I'm working on to give you guys. Obviously, that doesn't come into play until you have a fairly large account balance, and you're basically trading for your living kind of thing. If you're still working a full-time job, if you're still got other means of income and so forth, you don't really need to sell off. You'd rather keep compounding until you get to a larger balance, and you can semi-retire or cut back on your work, or say you've got more free time and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So they're my two targets for upcoming if we hit a new all-time high. Now, that is what I believe is going to happen. If you can't just go on like gut feeling per se, like we still need to wait for actual proper technical analysis to prove that this is going to happen. Okay, these targets are based on actual technical analysis in the market right now, but as you know, anything can happen. BCC could end up, people could get their free BCC. They may sell off their Bitcoin instead and buy more BCC when BCC hits a new low. So in that aspect, we may see Bitcoin drop to a new low and get another larger pullback. Okay, So it depends on what people are going to do in the actual market. But from what I've seen, it looks like most people are going to sell off their BCC and then use their Bitcoin again to buy back into more altcoins. Now, that's the whole reason why I have not moved my Bitcoin into Beatrix to get BCC. Okay, instead, I've bought more altcoins at the really good value areas which they are currently at. Okay, over the last week or so, and I've set my new sell orders for those coins. I'm hoping to profit from those coins and so forth. So I'm combining fundamental analysis with technical analysis, and also market analysis as to what is happening on Twitter, what's happening on Facebook with all the people that I know from network marketing side and so forth. I'm combining all of that knowledge together to try and give me a strategy to try and get an edge over the rest of the players in the market, rather than just putting my Bitcoin into Beatrix, getting the BCC, selling off the BCC, and moving that way. Because what can potentially happen is, okay, if you sell off the BCC, okay, and the BCC isn't available to sell off straight away, for example, all of these altcoins, depending on if you can get onto the market at the right time, or depending on if there's any delays with withdrawing your funds from Beatrix, or if there's any delays with orders or selling orders or filling orders or anything like that on Beatrix, you may see a large move in the altcoin market, because you may be late to the party where everyone else kind of gets in before you, and then everyone else has already taken advantage of the low prices. You know what I mean? So there's no right or wrong thing to do. I guess it kind of comes down to your scenario and your risk tolerance levels. Like, I'm willing to risk a little bit more because I've got a larger account and I've already got funds to last me through, all of my bills and living expenses and all that sort of stuff. So for me, I don't need to make money right this instant. I'm happy to wait it out, and obviously Bitcoin is a long-term bullish situation. So for me, there's no adamant pressure, I guess, to have to make money right this instant. You know what I mean? So I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to buy more altcoins and then wait out whatever the market's doing, because we buy them at such good rates. Okay, so obviously we've got a bit of a green day happening here. All of the coins are still really low. The only coins I've really been hitting any sell orders on, Strat's been bouncing fairly well. I've been making some good buy and sell orders on Strat. So I've still, even though we're in this downturn market, I've still been making Bitcoin. Obviously not as much as what I have in the last couple of months, but I've still been making Bitcoin based upon the strategy that I'm teaching. Okay. Obviously, I still had additional Bitcoin in blockchain in my CoinJar accounts and so forth, so I could add additional funds into my thing to take advantage of this bearish market. Okay, so that's kind of my views on Bitcoin, where we're headed with Bitcoin, what's happening, with Bitcoin, what I think your best options are with moving your whatever Bitcoin you've got at the moment into somewhere. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm really looking at the moment. Obviously, coin wise, based upon current strategy, majority of these coins are in very good value areas. They've already pulled back massively, so if you're going to buy some of the coins, guys, obviously just check to make sure. Look for those coins that are in extreme value areas of, right below these fib levels, like, anywhere around this 23.6 level or below on your Poloniex is going to be massive value. Okay, some of these coins have come down over 100% from their previous all-time highs. Okay, some of them come down even more than that. So if you're buying now and you're approaching, if you're selling off at previous all-time highs when we get back there, that's some big funds to be made. So I hope that kind of clears up any confusion in the market. So just to recap, guys, again, if you've got Bitcoin, the easiest and probably safest route to go is move your Bitcoin to Beatrix, okay? And you need to try and do that You need to try and do that now, basically, as soon as possible, because the longer you wait, the longer everyone else is going to be moving funds and so forth as well. The last thing you want to do is hit a Bitcoin. I would also suggest probably adding some extra money into your fee when you're sending. If you're going to send to Beatrix, definitely add some extra money into your fee, okay, for sending the coin, because you don't want to rely on whatever the current mining price is now, because if a whole crap load of other people start sending funds and your transaction priority gets pushed back, you don't want to have to rely on a transaction happening at the time of the fork, okay? We're not trading as of I'm not trading on August the 1st. I'm going to be closing my sell orders, okay, and I'm going to be watching the market to see what happens. If Poloniex just comes flat out and says, they haven't necessarily said whether they're going to support BCC or not. If they just come flat out and say they're not going to support BCC and there's no reason to do anything, the funds on the actual exchange should be fine. They may even stop trading during a certain period of time. I'm not sure, but to be safe, I'm going to cancel my sell orders. Wait till this blows over and we know exactly kind of what's happening, and then look to set up my sell orders and see what's happening in the market again. Okay. So Bitcoin, BCC fork time. I can't remember exactly when it is. I know it's August 1st. It's like 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. During a certain time zone. Let's see if we can find it here. August 1st. Let's see if I can find the exact. Support.beatrix.com. Surely they've got it. They're going to support it. So yeah, Bitcoin August 1st, 5:20 a.m., 12:20 UTC. Okay, so one BTC on Beatrix held during the on-exchange snapshot will get you 1 BCC. Okay, so that. I believe that says to me they're only going to give you whole BCC numbers. Okay, it doesn't look like there's going to be any fractions. So play it safe, guys. If you've got whole Bitcoins, put them there. Make sure you've got like something stupidly small, just over say 1 Bitcoin, like like 1.0001 or something like that, just to make sure you've actually got a whole kind of Bitcoin there. 12:20 UTC. What is that? UTC. Is that GMT time? It doesn't have a plus or minus anywhere, so GMT would be 24 hours, 48 hours. So you're looking at about 60 hours, okay? So you've got a fair bit of time still to do whatever you need to do, guys. Again, if you want, you can use the time zone link for where I post up time and date. Go to London. London's GMT. And if we go August August 1st, 12, 20. So for me, it's Tuesday night, 9:20 p.m. So 48. Sorry, about 50 hours. So it's about 50 hours away before we do the split. Okay. Now, after the split, as I said, with everything else that I've been going over, I've kind of explained to you guys. If you've just joined, just follow the video recap. Okay. Quick thing on trading view, guys. If you want to be able to move your screen around freely like this, if you click on this little cog icon up here, go to scales, and you can turn on or off auto scale. Okay. So that's when you zoom in and out with your mouse. It auto scales to current price, whatever you're looking at. If you want to be able to move around freely, just turn that off. So that, I mean, that's pretty much it from me, guys. If you want to post up, if you want to unmute yourself, ask any questions. If I haven't covered anything you're not really sure about, hit me up. I'll just quickly read the chat. Jacko says, yeah, I wish I hadn't exhausted my trading balance in June. Still trying to recover from an altcoin loss of 34% at this moment. Back in late June, I managed a Beatrix transaction this morning for the reserve BTC I have, and it completed successfully in a little over an hour. Says, isn't that just a simplification? I don't interpret that as being whole coins. Well, it doesn't. It says one-to-one basis, so I'm hoping it's a simplification based upon everyone moving funds into there. For me, I would be definitely moving whole bitcoins in if I have whole bitcoins. So not sure. I haven't seen anything to suggest. I haven't seen anything to suggest either way, whether it is fractional or whether it isn't. This to me sounds like it isn't, based upon the way that they've worded it. Otherwise, I think, if I issued a statement, I'd probably put in there that if you have 0.1 as well, it is fractional. So I'm not sure. Nish says, do you think that since people are buying up on BTC now to get BCC after August 1st, there might also be an initial drop in Bitcoin price after August 1st, since there's no more advantage having Bitcoin anymore, and then commence its overall bullish trend eventually when everything is stable? Yeah, so I don't think we're going to see a new all-time high of Bitcoin as of August 2nd or 3rd or 4th or something like that. I believe once the market stabilizes and once people have worked out what is happening with BCC, we'll see it. I think it'll take probably a couple of weeks, and then we'll probably see that big move. So my guesstimate is around maybe one to 2 weeks until we see whether or not we're going to hit a new all-time high, or whether or not we're going to consolidate for a while until people work out what they want to do and whether they're going to be using BCC or not. So the other thing, as I explained before, that could happen is the people selling off their BCC, if they get in early enough and they sell off a big chunk of BCC, if it drops like 100, 200, 300% in a matter of a few hours, they might buy back into BCC again with all of the Bitcoin that they've just made. So we may see some big market consolidation with Bitcoin because people are kind of just moving funds between Bitcoin and BCC. So that could still happen as well. But I still think we're going to be... regardless of what happens, we're still long-term bullish. So I'm treating BCC as an altcoin to Bitcoin at the moment. Okay, if we see an overall market shift and majority of people adopting BCC as the new Bitcoin, we'll see some massive moves over to that. Okay, so there's a bit of a play that you could do as well with BCC. There's nothing wrong with when BCC tanks in value. There's technically nothing wrong with buying BCC because BCC will come into those. BCC will come into our Fibonacci levels as of wherever price it comes in at the market at. It's gonna tank. It's gonna tank. It's basically like an ICO or a new coin joining the platform where people have free coins. People are going to sell off those coins. There is no doubt about it. It's going to drop massive in value. Okay, so the only thing I can suggest is try and get in as fast as possible. He asks because trying to figure out the best opportunity to buy more Bitcoin with fiat. Yeah, I got asked this question 2 days ago. Role reversal. A guy was asking me when he should sell off Bitcoin to get fiat because he needs, he needs money basically. I said right now there's nothing wrong with selling. There's nothing wrong with selling Bitcoin. Buying Bitcoin right now, it could go either way. You could make an extra, 50%, or you could lose an extra 50%. There's no correct play as of this moment right now. There's no way to really tell what is going to happen. So obviously everything that I've said is all market. It's my speculation based upon what I've seen in the market previously with what's happened with SegWit, and then also what I've seen on things like Twitter, Facebook, all that sort of stuff in regard to what people are going to be doing with their BCC. So from what I see, everyone's basically treating BCC like a free crappy altcoin and going to flog it off. So if you're going to buy Bitcoin, I always say to people, there's no real wrong time to buy Bitcoin. We're only at the beginning of the cryptocurrency market boom. So from a long-term perspective, if you're thinking 6 to 12 months down the track, there's nothing wrong with buying Bitcoin now. Buying Bitcoin now is not a bad thing as well, because if you bought it right now, for example, you can move it to Beatrix and get the free BCC, or you can move it into, like, say, Poloniex and buy cheap altcoins with it. So, you're gonna get value. I believe if you were to buy Bitcoin right now, you're gonna get value either way. Okay, even if Bitcoin doesn't spike in US dollar value itself, I still believe that you're gonna get a good advantage of either getting the BCC and then being able to sell that off and get more Bitcoin basically for free, or buying altcoins, which are gonna gonna boom again in the new bullish market. So either way, if I had money and I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I probably wouldn't hesitate. I'd probably buy it if I had the money to buy more Bitcoin. So as it stands for myself, I don't buy Bitcoin anymore. I've got enough to trade with, and I trade it to make more, and then I sell it to live. So from my perspective, buying Bitcoin is pretty much good at any time, because you can take advantage of anything at the moment. It's it's stupidly good value compared to current market cap around the world compared with everything else. So I think like honestly, I literally at the beginning of this year, I literally almost sold my house to fund Bitcoin, and I wish I did, because I would have made a freaking killing on Bitcoin. Okay, because I got about 150k equity in my property. If I bought 150k of Bitcoin and I was trading that 150k of Bitcoin back at the beginning of this year, the massive growth that I've had with my account, I would have easily tripled that money. So I could have sold my house, invested in Bitcoin, sold the Bitcoin, and bought my house outright. So everything's all good in hindsight. You know, I'm not stressed about hindsight. You know, hindsight's a bitch. You can't beat yourself up about hindsight. You'll learn that very quickly, long term, because if you keep beating yourself up about hindsight, it's going to impact on your trading, and it's going to impact on your mental state of mind, and you're going to make mistakes. Okay, so from a trading point of view, you know, trying to remove as much, trying to remove as much emotion as humanly possible. I don't care what anybody says. Every single person trades with emotion at some point in their career. Even now, I have massive days where I make massive money, and to me that's great. I have a smile. I have a laugh. I have a great time. On the flip side, you still have to keep that in check, because what happens is when it flips and role reverses, you have the exact opposite negative impact on yourself. Okay, so if you go to a state of absolute euphoria when the market is up, when you come into a bearish market like this, you're going to have an even worse negative impact. Okay, because you've had that such a high. That high has to meet a low expectation at some point. You can't have euphoria and then be completely chill when the market's in a crappy situation. So trying to get your emotions in check with, you can be happy, you can be joyful, you can be whatever you like, but at the same time, once you get traded in a larger account, you need to keep those emotions in check, because when you've got a larger account, your account fluctuates so much more. It still fluctuates the same percentage wise, but if you look at the dollar value of it and you're not just looking at the percentage wise, like it could have a massive impact on you. I mean, my account tanked over about 50k in value, in the matter of like 2 weeks. I didn't care, I didn't care at all, because for me, from a long-term perspective, from a long-term perspective, cryptocurrency is just at a beginning stage. So it honestly, it almost doesn't matter what you do now compared to if you knew nothing and you just bought Bitcoin and held Bitcoin for like 5-10 years, you'd still make a shitload of money. Okay, but what we're trying to do with our trading is we're trying to increase that Bitcoin. We're trying to compound it. We're trying to improve it, trying to increase it. Okay, so I know a lot of people who, through this whole massive Bitcoin bullish run, they've bought coins and they're like, oh man, like, just keep holding, don't sell off any coins, whatever. And you know what I mean? Like people got in at let's use XRP. I love using XRP as an example, because XRP, for example, is we had, in those last few months, we've gone from like a price of like, a pretty stable price of around 2,500 to like 25,000. So XRP increased tenfold, like 10 times. If you bought 2,500, right? If you bought at 2,500 and you didn't sell any of your coins on the way up, and you're just holding that coin, and you've hit 25,000, and you've now tanked back down to like, 5,800 or something, like, now you're earning 2 times more money. Instead, what I've done, instead of having 2 times my money, I've made way more than 2 times my money, because I've sold on the way up, I've sold other coins, I've bought other coins, and I've got a massive portfolio of coins now, which are worth a lot more than just buying and holding. So the trading is going to set you up long term, so you can continue to make money. instead of just having to buy stuff and sit on it and try and make money by buying and holding. Okay, you're going to get a much larger return over time with the trading side. Any other questions, guys? Jacko, my beginner's 90% high did get match smacked with the big bear of 22nd of the 6th. Yep. Exactly, Jacko. So now the good thing is, okay, the good thing is you've experienced. I don't know what your Bitcoin balance is. I don't really care. It doesn't really bother me because I work on mainly percentage value and so forth anyway. But at least you've come into the market. You've seen the bullish run. You've seen the bearish run. Okay, so now you know kind of what to expect from a long term perspective. We're gonna have bearish runs. Okay, you can't just continue to have money pumping into the market and this never-ending bullish run. Okay, there's going to be times of sell-off. There's going to be times of uncertainty, like these Bitcoin splits that happen, that you just know, no one knows what's going to happen. So people panic, they freak out, and they go, "Oh crap, I need to get out of this." You know what I mean? So that kind of thing scares people. Like, people's emotions will make you do crazy shit, basically. Michael Crawford says, how long before the split are you closing sell orders? So I'll probably be closing my sell orders, a few hours in advance at least. I'll pretty much let my open sell orders up until that point. I'll only be closing them off just before that time. So I'll set an alarm on my phone. For that time, a few hours beforehand, I'll log on, I'll close all my sell orders, and I'll be on at that time. So I'm gonna actually sit and watch the market and see what happens, because I like that sort of stuff. It's interesting to me. Primrose says, you think alts might dump back to where they were a few days ago? Yeah, definitely a possibility, man. It depends on. See, I believe alts have already dumped to, almost their low point now, because we're getting close now, guys. We're only 2 days away. Okay, if people still haven't sold off their altcoins yet to get Bitcoin to move into exchanges supporting the BCC, I don't think they're going to do it now. I think they've already done it. It would be extremely silly to now dump all of your stuff and try and move everything into to get your free BCC, because anything could happen. Could have network congestion, could have whatever, and then that transaction could tip over. And the other big thing, guys, obviously, sorry I didn't say this earlier, make sure you do not send any transactions during the fork period, okay? Don't send any transactions during the fork period. No deposits, no withdrawals. Okay? Very important. No deposits, no withdrawals. Yep, and I'll just see what happens after the split on when to set my sell orders. Exactly right, man. So I'm gonna be on the computer at that specific time. Got nothing else to do. might as well be on watching the market and try and make some money. I'll set aside some time to make sure that I can be on. I might even cover it live, guys. I might even do a live session during the split, and we'll see what happens. Hey, might even do that. Yeah, I'm cancelling my sell orders on all altcoins just before the split happens. just to be safe. It's a safety thing. The reason it's a safety thing, I don't know specifically how Poloniex handle Bitcoin in your account, whether that is like an internal transaction or not. I know it doesn't show up on the blockchain, obviously. Like if you're buying and selling altcoins, it doesn't show up on the blockchain. It only shows up, in their platform. So it's probably safe to leave your sell orders, but I'll be closing mine just to be 100%. You know what I mean? Just a safety thing. Yeah, I don't know. I may even leave the all-time high sell orders, because if we get a massive surge of people moving quickly from selling off BCC into pumping into altcoins, we may even see the altcoins hit new all-time highs again, okay, along with Bitcoin. So I guess it's more of a safety play, but it's also a play where there could be larger gains to be had. So I'll cancel all of my sell orders, watch the market, see what happens. I may even set like stop limit orders, okay, because stop limit orders are going to be, you can change stop limit orders. In the training videos, I do go over how to use the stop limit function. So just recap those videos just to quickly go over it again. You set your stop price. So if a stop hits that price, now you can use this as prices moving up. So on XRP, for example, if you set a stop price at 0.00025, which is our 25,000 level, okay, and you made the limit 0.000 either. Now this is if it hits a high again and tanks back down, you set your limit below where your stop is, because the stop activates it, and then the limit sets your sell order. Okay. If you want to see if it goes to a new all-time high, you can set this to say 0.003, and then that will set, if it hits 25,000, it'll set a sell order at 30,000. Okay, it'll set a sell order at 30,000 for you respectively. Now you can watch price there, and it'll be down in your open orders, and you can adjust that. To adjust it, you do need to cancel it and then resubmit it. But then from there, if you wanted to change it, you could cancel your stop limit order and you could set a normal order, or you could re-change the stop limit order to basically, as price continues to go up, you can set your stop, and then you can set your limit to be just below where price is moving, kind of thing. Okay. So yeah, well, I think I should be able to be on for a live session on that Tuesday. So I might set one up, and we'll call it we'll do a fork session. We'll do a fork you session. I'll set the time in the group. You guys can vote if you want to come or not. I'll set it up. Anyone else? Any other questions, guys? That's all we're really covering today. Just what's happening in the next couple of days. Most coins are obviously still in a good value area, so check them out. See if you want to buy more coins, if you've got Bitcoin or not. We'll do the BCC thing. Completely up to you. Bum, bum, bum. Cool. Alright, if no one's got any other questions, we might call it there. I'll stop the recording. I'll upload this for everybody else so they can see as well, so they can catch up on what's happening. So no one's left out. Yeah, I'll upload this straight after, man. Straight after this, I'll jump on and upload it for you. Alrighty, guys. Peace out. I'll talk to you all soon. I'll set up a new session in the group and I'll upload this and I'll post the link for everybody. Take it easy, guys. Good luck in the markets, and I'll see you guys in a couple of days, okay? Talk to you soon.